It's a short video time, I hope. Short, maybe, sort of. We'll see how it goes. After my last video I put up about the Gsxr 1000, which is that thing, the oil mods and stuff I kind of do to my cases, there was a couple things I left out, and I thought I would just kind of go over those real quick. So this will be kind of an addition to the last video. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it. This one will make more sense. If you did watch that, this one will still make more sense. But I was asked if I run high volume pump, or a high volume gear, or a high pressure relief valve, or a special oil pan with a windage tray or anything in it, and I do. I do run the high volume gear, and I run a Two Wheel Works oil pan on this thing, and I absolutely love the design of that pan. It's a billet pan. It's got a little, we'll say a windage tray, a baffling tray in it, but there's two trap doors in the thing. So when you go into decel, the trap doors shut. The oil can't run away from the pickup, so you never lose oil pressure on decel, which is pretty critical to keeping these things alive, is oil control in the pan. Excuse me. I am currently sick. It was a miserable day at work. I'm dying and I want to go to bed, but I'm going to do the video quick because that'll give me something to do while I'm falling asleep. The pan is sitting over there and it's covered in oil, so I should say, clean that up to show you, but just a good oil pan is critical. No matter if you're doing swivel pickups, which I don't really like, but it's something at least. Good oil pan, and yes, I run a high volume gear, high volume, all the things. I don't run a high pressure relief valve. I don't think it's necessary. Like I said, pressure is just a measurement of resistance, and if you have enough volume going through a motor, you will have pressure by default. The more oil you try to flow through a given space, that will show as resistance, and you will have more pressure. So this motor makes decent pressure for not having a high pressure relief valve in it, and it's all because it flows a lot of oil. And one of the key things I think to my motor living is the oil pump setup. I was out here last night kind of going through the oil pump on the bike. I always like when I pull the motors apart, I like to go through the pump, make sure no junk went through there. And I have a bunch of spare pumps I keep on hand for just miscellaneous parts. If I see something's got a little goofy wear on it, I'll swap a part out. But I've had so many motors I've disassembled and kept parts out of that I hoard stuff basically for these motors. So it dawned on me that I never really explained what I do with the oil pump on these things. And this might be a super common, well-known thing, but for the guys that run the 01 to 03 bikes, this might not be that well known. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So as you see on my workbench here, I have my oil pump. I was doing some disassembly, and one of these pumps is not like the others, and that's what made me think that I should explain why. So these are, there's 4 oil pumps here. This one and this one are not the same, even though they look the same. This pump is out of my stock 03. These are all 3, including the one in the motor. Those are 03, 04 cases. 01, 02, it still works the same with the oil pump. But those are 07, 08 oil pumps. And there is a difference between them, but it's not something you'd pick up on instantly looking at them. So we'll try to set these up so you can see. So if you do a little visual, they look pretty close to the same, right? If you come down here and look across, they're the same height. But if you look at the shaft difference, this is the 03, 04, well, 01 to 04. This is the 07, 08. There is a difference in where this stuff all kind of meets up and what actually drives this, as far as the water pump on the other side of the motor and how everything kind of reaches through the cases. So you'll need to run whatever kind of accessory system you're running. You'll need to run the shaft for that pump in whatever pump you're going to run. But the main difference between these, and why I am sorry guys, I'm winded and not feeling great, so I'm babbling. But the critical difference and why I run these 07s as opposed to the early gen is this. So you pull these pumps apart. I'm going to pop the 03, 04 apart. I already had these apart, but we'll just kind of pull the whole drive deal out of here. We get this part we want to look at, and these two pieces we want to look at. So we're going to do a comparison here. The drive shafts, like I said, you use whatever one you're going to use as far as what water pump setup you're running. I don't run a water pump, so my shafts just get cut off, and I just have the pin side where the gear goes to run the oil pump. So we'll finish taking these apart quick. And what we're going to look at to start with is these pieces. So now if you notice, the 07, 08 to the 03, 04, there's a difference in this area right here. Well, that's where you can see it the most. See how much closer this is to the surface of where your O-ring seal goes? And then look at this one, how much deeper it is. And that is because there's extra material on the bottom side. They look the same. This one here where I'm pointing with my thumb for the early gen is a shallower bore in there than this one, even though the outside dimensions are the same. Well, I'll put them next to each other, are the same. This one is shallower on the inside than this one. And here's where the difference is. Here's the pump itself. I don't know if this is going to come across the camera real good. There's a difference. See if I line this side up with my thumb. There's a difference there. And I'm going to show you exactly how much of a difference there is. So the 0304 measures, we'll call it 746 thou. The 0708 measures 825 thou. That's the difference. This pump is deeper and has like a deeper vein setup. This is basically a high volume bolt-in pump for early generation 1000s. This pump will move more oil than the 0304s will, just by sheer internal capacity of what those veins, the internal dimensions are. So I just thought it'd be quick, show you how the pumps work here. And these are all, rebuildable. You can go through like the one I just did for my motor over there. The inside's all polished up, so everything spins real free and slippery, and it's a real low resistance rotating pump, and it still does its job. So something you guys consider if you got early model 1000 motors is it's a free high volume pump mod. These things are stupid priced on eBay right now. There's no reason a used oil pump out of a used motor should be $100, but if you want to buy one, go ahead. Otherwise, put the word out. A lot of people are parting motors out. You could probably get one used from somebody parting stuff out that you might know for, I think $30 would be a fair price for these things, but never know. So that's going to wrap this one up.